Hello, it's a little bit damp out here today, but we'll see how I get on. So, last week I had this off the loom, but I hadn't wet finished it because I had not wanted to twist the fringes. The fringes are twisted, so I'm going to show you the twisted fringes and then tell you that it's wet finished. So let me just show you the twisted fringe, did that, twisted all that fringe on both ends. Look at that, there we go. And it has been wet finished. So I'll show you the lace. I'll fling that over my shoulder to show you the lace. There we go. You might be able to hear some chickens. They're having some opinions. So the lace is set. It's all wet finished. I'll show you the full length. It doesn't look much different because the warp is acrylic. Am I in shot? Or if I stand up on my tippy toes? There we go. But the wool did shrink in a little bit. So it is held up quite badly. There we go. There's a little bit of tracking come through in this as well, which is lovely. So that is done and ready to go. Now, the big loom looks much the same as it did last week. I have got progress. I think I'm about 3/4 of the way through. So I'll show you a photograph of how that's looking because it looks pretty much as it did last week. I'm nearly at the end, maybe nearly almost sort of. So I am, I think, as I said, 3/4 of the way, maybe 2/3 if I'm being a little bit more honest with myself. It is taking forever. It will be great. I've just got to get it off the loom. And to do that, I have to finish weaving it. And on the little loom, I have this, which is a scarf in grey with a yellow stripe, which is quickly becoming my signature, I think, the yellow stripe. So it's just a plain weave, but with those bands of yellow for a bit of visual interest. So this is actually a duplicate of this one, which I did a couple of years ago, and I'm holding up so well. There we go. But the problem here, so this is part of the order. The person who's done that big order that I've been working on wanted 3 of these. I only had this one. I can't remember what this yarn is, what this grey yarn is, and I can't remember where it came from, and so I was a bit stuck. So it's not obviously an exact duplicate because they're different yarns. Let me show you close up what I mean. So, because I couldn't remember what this yarn is, I've gone with a grey and then another grey. So I'm going to put this back. So that's the original. This is a little bit wider, I think. It is, actually. It'll come off the loom a little bit narrower, but the next one, because I need to do one more after this, will be a little bit narrower again, and I might move those yellow stripes in, because I think they're fine on the edges, but I think they could be a little bit close together, just for friendship. So this is, and did I put it in the right pocket? I did, but it's the wrong pocket, because it's the right pocket, and I haven't got a spare arm. Do stop me if I get too professional, because I don't want to be too polished. Okay, so... Did I bring both of them out? No, I didn't. So I did actually keep the labels from these with me so that I could tell you what they were, but I only brought one out. But I can remember. So I don't know if you can see the warp. I hope you can because I'm holding it quite close up. And you can see that it is that grey with a bit of a darker twist. It's not black, it is a charcoal grey. That is Bendigo Wool & Mill's Classic 8-ply Silver Twist. And then for the weft, I've got Bendigo Wool & Mill's Classic 8-ply in Classic Grey, I think. I've dropped it. It's Classic Grey. And that is to give a little bit of texture and a little bit of visual interest to the grey, like the other one has with the white fleck, which I'll show you if my arm's long enough. It's not. Yep, that's the right one. So that's got a little bit of a white fleck in it for visual interest. So I just thought, well, I can't match this yarn because I don't know what it was. It might be discontinued. Most of my yarns are, unfortunately. So I just went with that one with the darker twist in it. Now for the yellow, I've actually doubled the thread. I know. So all I mean by that, it's a little bit like a packed warp, but not that packed. So it's 2 strands instead of 1. There's 2 strands in the slot, 2 strands in the hole. And that's just to give that yellow a bit more punch and make it stand out a bit and be a bit thicker. It's giving me some slight tension issues, but it's all fine. And the yellow is once again, and I'm still milking the same ball, it's Bendigo Wool & Mill's Classic 8-ply, I think in Marigold, do not quote me. But that is what I have for you this week. I've got to get this one finished and then I've got to do another one like it. What I'm going to do with the other one is do the Classic Grey for the warp and then the silver twist for the weft. It's not going to look very different to anyone who isn't me, but I'm going to know it's different. And that's the main thing. But yes, that's it for this week. Short and sweet, well short. And hopefully next week I will have that Rainbow Monster off the loom and maybe even wet finished if I really run with it. I do have some progress on the crochet, but not enough to bring out and show you because it is literally 2 rounds and those rounds are about that high. So it's not going to look that much different. Next week I should be in on the decorative edging bits. I hope, touch wood, let's see. Anyway, I'm going to go inside where it's slightly drier than it is out here. You take care of yourself, have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.